Greetings from Trovember. This is Lloyd Kaufman, president of Trome Entertainment and creator of The Toxic Avenger. And you know, folks, when we're not making those great movies like Romeo and Juliet and Return to Nukem High Volume 1 and Volume 2, we like to kick back and listen to The Horror Show, because The Horror Show with Bill and Mike and what are your names again?
Sean and Joe.
With Sean and Joe. The horror show with Sean and Joe rhymes, and that's reason enough for it to be the best show that we gay people like.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Trovember, rolling right along.
Yep.
What did we talk about last week? Oh,
Nukem High.
Nukem High. It was so good. So good. So good. Well, this week is a little bit more interesting. A little bit more off the walls.
A little more trauma-y.
A little more trauma. I mean, this is as trauma as it gets.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, this is out of control.
Yeah, it really is.
And I need to know more about Lloyd's thoughts on this. And the fact that at the end it says this is based on a book written by Lloyd Kaufman and what's that guy's name? John Gunn?
James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Yeah. It was. What book was it? Was it everything I learned about filmmaking?
Yeah.
I learned from The Toxic Avenger?
Yeah. That's what they claim this movie is based on. Based on the book. It says it at the end, based on the book. By the way, the movie we are talking about is, of course, Trovember.
1999.
1999. Doesn't look a day over the age of 1987. We're actually watching it as we speak.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, because I might throw up during the podcast.
Was this your first time seeing it?
This is my first time seeing it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
I had seen parts of the edited version, so that's what I thought I was in for.
They have an edited version?
They have an R-rated version.
Imagine if it was just totally edited.
It basically is.
It would be... Really?
Joe, Lloyd Kaufman pops up on screen and like covers their breasts or explains scenes that they had to totally chop out.
What?
He acts them out. He would pop up on screen and like I can't remember because I didn't see the unedited version to know what the hell he was talking about, but it would cut and it would just be Lloyd standing there and he would act out the scene by himself.
That actually sounds a little bit better.
That's kind of what I think, because this was heavy.
I personally love it, but if somebody told me that they hated it, I bet every reason why they hated it would also be the same reasons why I love it.
I really like it. It's super entertaining. It's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot for my eyes.
I said on my letterbox that this movie is just the word excess personified. I mean, there's no other way to describe it.
No.
It's just, everything's in your face at 110%.
Yeah, and I think you said that about Class of Nukem High before writing your review on this. I think you said a similar thing. It was like that it was excess, and I agreed with you when I watched Class of Nukem High. And then when I saw this, like, this is truly the definition.
No, this is
truly the definition. When you have breasts in a movie, it was pretty excessive in some of the movies that they've made. But in this one, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's not just breasts, it's sex, it's full frontal. It's sticking pickles in human beings. It's out of control. It's completely outrageous.
And the gore's disgusting.
The gore is, dude, so much blood. So much blood.
When I first seen this in the year 2000, and like it's just stayed with me the whole time because I thought it was the grossest movie I'd ever seen.
It is. It's.
I mean that as a compliment.
No, yeah, that was what I was about to try and explain. So I don't even know where to start with this. This movie was so crazy and so fast.
Well, first of all, the opening scene wastes absolutely no time because it just starts off with sexual harassment, then a man's legs being ripped off of him, and him beaten to death with his legs, and then a baby ripped out of a woman's stomach.
Oh my god!
And then it goes to a serial killer, which is just a body surrounded by a cereal. And then a man's head being blown off, and he wakes up and sneezes his blood all over some girl standing next to him.
It was the craziest beginning.
It was the fastest moving, most insane.
Dude, I couldn't even take notes. I had to pause it and just write everything down because
and everything I just said like occurred in like 45 seconds. It was like ridiculous.
It was so fast.
That's enough to fill a movie, everything that happened there.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the kind of king size pussy I need. What? And in a French accent.
Yeah.
And then she just rips his fucking leg off and fucking murders him with it while he's screaming, "Hey, what are you doing, you fucking bitch? That's my leg." He's not even screaming about his leg being ripped off. He's more concerned that she took it.
Yeah.
Like, it's mine. Oh, God. But yeah, there's a serial killer on the loose in New York City, I guess. It kind of takes place in New Jersey.
Well, the opening is confusing because it's also part of some of it is a movie.
Oh yeah,
shot.
I wasn't sure I wasn't sure until much late. Excuse me. I wasn't sure until much later what was happening. I didn't know what was fake or not.
I mean,
what was a movie or what was not, and it jumped around like that because the movie is taking place in a quasi fictional world of trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma exists. The Toxic Avenger exists.
Kabuki Man exists.
And they're all working for a movie studio under Larry. I forget the last name that he uses. Larry Bernard or something.
Oh, he wasn't going by Larry Kaufman?
No, he had a different last name.
I thought he was for some reason.
No, but it doesn't matter. He was going by Larry instead of Lloyd.
Yeah.
But it was Lloyd playing Larry.
Right.
If that makes sense. And he runs this movie studio. He makes independent films, and he's very proud of those independent films. And so it jumps between and by jump, it doesn't really jump at all. It all kind of takes place in the same place.
Yeah. Which
is like the studio or wherever they're shooting. And that's also kind of where they party.
So after the opening scene, which was spliced between a real serial killer and a movie shoot, because the guy that kills himself and sneezes was obviously the movie shoot.
Yes.
You're introduced to all these characters who are who are in the entire movie, and they are all like we talked about it last week with the punks and all that. They're all just disgusting weirdos, punk rock. Like it's insane.
Totally.
All these characters are insane.
So gross. There's a woman running around with giant fake ears the entire time, like giant huge elf ears, like, and that's just like they don't explain it. They don't make jokes.
There's
about
no reason for it.
There's no reason.
That's for all the people in that. They don't explain any of it.
It's so crazy, and I don't think we'll ever have the answer from Lloyd as to why.
Yeah,
like even if it was just drugs, if that was the answer. We'll never get that answer, and I would love to just know. Like this, if you told me this was like, what was that professional baseball player that had a no-hitter while he was on?
Oh, Doc Ellis.
If you told me that this movie was just like that, Doc Ellis just went out there high as shit, threw a no-hitter. And Lloyd, high as shit, was like, I'm going to make a movie this weekend. And he just made Terror Firmer. I would 100% believe you. It's just crazy.
It is crazy, but at the same time, I think it's really thought out.
I guess you're right.
It's so meta.
I
It references everything. And like,
I'm about to puke. This was the worst scene. Sorry, me and Joe are watching it on the TV. There's a scene at one point where the woman, the serial killer, is back, and I don't even know why, but she's in a car with a bunch of people, and she just starts fucking vomiting everywhere. And it's the most realistic looking vomit.
all over
it's just
people's
gray.
faces. Yeah.
It's just gray and chunky, unidentifiable. It's so gross. I'm honestly about to throw up. So we're in this trauma studio. They're filming this movie. It's a Toxic Avenger movie. This is a really bad idea to have this on while we record. It's just ridiculous. There is not a single scene in this that isn't just outrageous.
I know.
There's not even a lull for us to talk without being like, there's people throwing up.
So
there's naked
we're jumping all over, but just to give, if you haven't seen Terra Firma, what we just saw in the last 10 seconds was, as Sean said, this girl throwing up all over other people's faces, and then it cut to a pretty large man and and an Asian woman who immediately gets full frontally naked.
for no reason.
You see everything, and then she rips off the pants of the fat man and starts going down on him. And it just cuts back to the girl who's still throwing up all over people's
And that was
faces.
the most realistic blowjob of all time, by the way. She's grabbing his ass, and her face
Oh, this was a porn.
is so close to his dick. There's no way that guy wasn't getting a blowjob. It's ridiculous. That might have been how he got
Then
paid.
it cut to a new character who's also topless.
Holy moly. So Larry, by the way, is also a blind director. We've got the blowjobs back. It's so realistic. But there's going to be a cast party.
Yeah.
After the shooting. Oh, God. So, cast party. This is the only time I think they leave the studio. No, it's not true. There's a few shots outside of the studio. But this is like one of the few times. They have a cast party at what is a frat house. There's a naked man on screen.
Wait. Before we get to there, we have to tell him that Lloyd is playing essentially himself, but he's also blind.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I said that. Larry's blind.
Wait, did you talk about him pissing?
No, I did not. You can fill them in on the pissing scene.
So he's blind, and he goes into the bathroom, and of course there's some girl getting laid. Like, just right over the sink, getting fucked from behind. And Lloyd walks in, and he's just pissing double stream for no apparent reason. And since he's blind, he's just looking all over and just pissing all over the people having sex.
So disgusting.
While he's talking to him.
Like, that's what I mean by disgusting. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I can't wait to talk about that scene. So they have this. They're gonna have a cast party at a frat house, right? Like
something like that.
It was at one of the crew members' houses, but it looks
like a frat house.
I mean, there was even like banners and stuff. It was very strange. We meet the Toddster, which you assume might stick around for a little while, but you're wrong in that assumption.
And every time he comes on the screen, somebody off the screen goes, Toddster!
Dude, that was... I only heard it once.
What? Like 20 times.
Oh, shit. I must have just thought it was people, like his buddies saying it. But yeah, I heard it that one time, and I just laughed so hard.
No, they did it a couple
times. So stupid. The serial killer walks in. You hear Toddster say, this is the most ridiculous line. I'm gonna go cut me off a piece of that sweet fried bologna. That's the most horrifying way to describe a woman ever. It's so insane. But she takes him upstairs, lures him, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And proceeds to do one of the craziest kill scenes I've ever seen.
This is one of the greatest kill scenes of all time.
I agree. It's so insane. So she shoves a funnel in his ass.
Yeah.
She gets him naked. She shoves a funnel. Yep. That kind of funnel, just the one you can imagine, in his ass. She pours bong water into it. Then she pours cocaine into it. she screams, "You said you liked getting stoned off your ass." Then she smashes the bong.
So it's broken.
Yep.
Broken glass.
She starts masturbating. There's so much masturbating in this movie.
And as she's masturbating, Todd's starting to get aroused, but she just shoved the funnel up his ass and poured bong water and cocaine into it. Like, why would he not try to leave?
And he's totally okay with it right now. He just thinks it's a little freaky. And there's masturbation on the screen as we speak. So this just never ends. There's always somebody masturbating in this movie. So what she does is she smashes the bong, and she's masturbating, and she starts stabbing him with this broken bong.
Yeah.
Which has still retained its circular shape, which is just such a gruesome way to imagine being stabbed. It's like a plunger.
Yeah.
Just cutting huge circular holes in him.
And the way that it's shot, it's brutal. It's gory as
Chunks of
hell.
his face are coming off. Like, it was outrageous, that kill scene. It was one of the goriest kill scenes I've ever seen. It's just puncturing the largest holes in him. And then a 90s movie wouldn't be complete without "This is your brain on drugs."
Brain on drugs. Because his brain comes out.
She takes a chunk of his brain out and puts it on the
on a frying pan.
On a frying pan that's filled with cocaine. Oh, boy.
Did you notice Thor, the Thor, I can't talk tonight. Thor the penis monster at the frat house?
No, but I had read. Oh, yeah. No, I did.
That's a huge penis.
Yeah. That was a really strange, and he says it's Thor.
Yeah.
I think it's Thor.
It's from other Troma movies. Yeah.
That's Thor. What? How the fuck? Oh, my. But it wasn't supposed to be alive, right?
No.
In this, it was like they had the prop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be alive because I thought I saw it move. We're also introduced to Larry's daughter, who's mute. Is that an appropriate term?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I don't know.
What else would you say? But she just makes noises.
Yeah, she makes probably offensive noises.
Yeah, I was going to repeat it. I was like, I'm not going to do that.
I don't know if they're offensive or not, so let's just stay away from it. But the reason she's a mute is because Larry was on, what was that guy's name? It was
the Morton Springer show.
Morton Springer show. And they said I don't know, it was like a trap or something, and the crowd got wild and
trampled the mother to
death.
And then they show the flashback.
In front of the daughter, they showed the flashback, dude.
Her head gets stumped.
It's just the most graphic thing. And the thing is, the effects are very fake. You wouldn't say they're realistic in any way, really.
No.
But they're just to such an extent that it turns your stomach.
It does.
It turns your stomach, even though you can clearly tell it's fake.
Like the blood's like so bright and like chunky and gooey.
But it just turns your fucking stomach. It's just brutal to watch.
I love it.
It's crazy.
That's based on his real experience on the Morton Downey Jr. show.
Oh, is it Morton Downey Jr.?
Well, obviously nobody got trampled, but
yeah. Yeah, that was strange. That Morton Downey Jr. is an asshole, though. Fucking idiot. That guy. So many people don't know who that is, by the way. People are probably very confused. Look him up. He's a fucking...
He was. Yeah. He's an asshole.
Idiot.
Wait, remember when Topsa died? His head was propped up in that frat house, and the two people walk in and see it. Yeah. And they screamed for literally 5 straight minutes.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
I was laughing so hard.
I did have a note on that. It just wouldn't end. It wouldn't end. It reminded me of the national anthem in Class of Newcomb High.
And even that part was disgusting before that, because that guy throws up all in his mouth and all over himself and kisses his girlfriend.
Dude,
and the vomit's all over her face.
Puke. It's all over him. They do a close-up of his face, and he's like, "What's wrong, baby?" And there's just vomit all over him.
I love it because there's no need for that to happen at any point.
No. I mean, again, this is just excess. I just want to know what Lloyd. I just need to know Lloyd's thoughts on this. What he thinks about this. I want to. There is a documentary about how it was made, which, if we had any brain, we would have watched to discuss this thoroughly. But we didn't, so we'll do it at another time. But I mean, it probably deserves its own show.
Yeah. I actually, what's it called? Farts of Darkness?
Parts of Darkness. The making of Trovember. Well, maybe that answers all of our questions, and all of our questions are meaningless.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm sure.
Probably.
So
I mean,
stop listening to us and go watch Farts of Darkness.
Yeah. It'd be much more enjoyable. Yeah. So now we're finally actually introduced to kind of our characters. We haven't even met our main characters really up till this point.
No, I mean they're briefly in that opening scene.
Yeah, we're introduced to what are their names? Jerry, Casey, and Christine? I'm going with Christine.
Sounds right.
Although I think that might be class of Newcomb High. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. I mean, honestly, they weren't saying their names that often. It was tough to grab them.
No, there's so many people in this movie.
Oh, and that's the other problem. There's a million people. There's literally a million characters in this movie. It's so crazy. But basically, we're wrapped up in a love story. Our lead female, Christine, I guess. Our two lead males, Jerry, who is the special effects guy, and has a thing for Christine. It is Christine?
Yes.
Okay. Jerry's got a thing for. Casey is our other lead male, who is the sound guy.
Casey's played by Will Keenan, who, if you've been watching Troma or you're a fan of Troma, he was Tromeo in Tromeo and Juliet.
He's great.
He is great.
I love him.
He is.
He's so jacked too. In that dream sequence, he's pretty ripped.
He is ripped. Dude, you know what? Oh, fuck. Who does he remind me of? He's like a cross of two people. I thought of it.
Like real actors?
Yeah. He reminds me of like two legit people. Oh. It's a fucking Skeet. He reminds me of Skeet Ulrich from Scream combined with Stabone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like.
That's exactly what he is. He's their child. He's their love child. He's fantastic though, but he plays Casey, the sound guy, who weird setup. Like you think he's a bad guy. I mean, he's kind of stealing the white meat baby faces girl. So you think he's being set up as a bad guy, but then he's like kind of a genuinely nice guy throughout it. He becomes fairly likable.
Yeah.
And then Jerry comes back in the picture and you're like, oh, wait, yeah, you kind of like stole this guy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's a very weird situation. I wasn't quite.
But he, in a movie that, requires almost no acting, he acts his ass off.
Yeah. I don't even think Jerry's bad.
No, he's not.
Christine's
all right.
She's, I don't mind
Christine.
She's good. She has sex with a pickle. Literally, guys. Literally. But so that's the kind of the setup for this couple. So Casey kind of steals Christine away from Jerry. They go on a date to a diner, and all of a sudden it turns into Seinfeld.
To the music and everything.
It was playing Seinfeld music. It was playing a laugh track.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing. And then it says this diner scene was filmed in front of a live studio audience. And it ends. And then it ends. This guy, Casey, though, had some great, I don't even know what you want to call it. They were lines, but just the way he played them was awesome. He's just obsessed with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, but only his shitty movies.
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing. He loves big budget Hollywood.
He's like, you gotta go back to my place and put in a classic Spielberg, like 1941 or
so
Always.
It was so funny, but that is what they do.
Then later he talks about how Hook is Spielberg's best movie.
Oh my God. Yeah, he says it's his best movie ever made. Hook. I think he says something else too with Hook, but
I loved it.
They end up watching some other movie, some independent movie. I think it was called Shark that Jerry had given her. They end up watching it together. After the movie ends, Casey's taking it out, and he just laughs to himself and goes, "The only shark movie I would watch is Jaws." This guy can't let it go. It's the funniest shit. He just plays it so well. And so, boy, so many weird things in this. Oh, at the diner scene, we missed the Ron Jeremy flashback.
Yeah, he talks about his father and how they pickle together. They pickle things together.
Dude, this guy just pickles everything with his dad. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah, like Christine wants to bang him, and he's like, "Hey," he stops like mid freakiness, and he's like, "Hey, you want some pickled eggs?"
Yeah, it's very strange. They end up still getting freaky together.
Yeah,
he goes down on her. And in typical Trauma fashion, the ADR in Trauma movies is probably the funniest part of their movies, or one of the funniest parts of their movies. The ADR is just so disgusting because he's doing stuff, and then you'll just hear it in the background like, so faintly, like while you can still hear him breathing, so it doesn't quite match up, and it'll be like, and then like, and just like these disgusting noises, these appalling noises in the background. It's so gross. It's so amazing.
Yeah, they do that for like Toxie goes down on a girl in the Toxie mask. Same thing. You hear just disgusting grunting and noises.
If a girl straddles a guy, it'll be like like it springs and stuff. It's the ADR is just the funniest stuff. Like, can you imagine that job? Is that job literally just Lloyd being like, put any sound effect anywhere?
I don't know, but I need that job.
Oh, yes. So do I. Absolutely. Also, as he's going down on her in the background, we see Pickle Magazine. He's a subscriber. Yeah. If you can believe that.
I do, because he practices the ancient art of pickling.
That was so funny, too. That was so weird.
And then it like cuts back and forth, and I love how they did commercials for themselves. Like they would talk about the movie that they're watching, and they're like, yeah, you can get it on www.troma.com, and then talk about the VHS and the DVDs.
There is a 5-minute plug for Troma.com and how you could buy their VHSs and DVDs.
I loved it.
It was so funny.
I loved it because
why not?
They're in Troma Studios in the movie.
Yeah,
like, why not do that?
Right,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's oh my god. Do we have to talk about this girl's mom? There's so much stuff in this movie that we need to talk about.
I mean, when she's masturbating and fantasizing about what I can't even think of his name. Casey. And then the mom starts talking.
No, I was thinking of the time they just show the mom and she just has fucking snot dripping down her fucking nose. It's all over her nose and chin. It's in her glasses. There's fucking snot everywhere. And again with the ADR noises, this woman's just covered in snot, and in the background, like her and her daughter are having a conversation, and in the background, all you hear is just fucking fart noises. I can't stop laughing. It's so ridiculous. They're having a conversation where it's like, "Oh, mom, are you okay?" And it's just like. It's so light. It's so light in the background. It's not audible. It's not, and no one's acknowledging it. That's the other funny part, because they don't know it's going to be in the movie until after it's made. Like that is totally a post-production thing.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just nonstop too. It's just like I can't even do it without laughing. It's just nonstop in the background. Oh my god! It's like one of the most disgusting scenes in this movie.
Having snot all in your mouth and like your glasses, it's like I feel nauseous talking about it.
It's
that
all
shit
over
grosses me out.
Yes, it is. It's appalling.
The amount of vomit and like just bodily fluids that are all over the screen this entire movie it's nauseating.
That's a big part of this. Like it is just, and it's everywhere.
It's just fluid.
There's just fluid everywhere. There's nobody is not covered in fluid. It's crazy. Oh boy, where do we go from here? So
I don't know. This movie's so hard to talk about. There's so much.
Lemmy. Oh well, before we get to Lemmy, is another amazing kill scene.
Yeah,
Holy
there's this
shit!
very portly man who's getting rubbed by two women because he's like
an investor.
Yeah, he's investing in Troma Studios.
Yeah.
Well, the serial killer shows up and he gets trapped in an escalator.
Yeah, he's chasing the serial killer. She's kind of a seductress.
Right.
That's how she gets everyone. And he's like making her chase her up the escalator, which you just know is going to end so badly. So badly. But yeah, she grabs an axe. This scene I was kind of confused by. Not for any reason. I just couldn't figure out what the chain of events was. Because she grabs the axe, he falls. And then, yeah, I guess he does get sucked in.
Just gets sucked in the elevator.
She doesn't do anything, but then she starts chopping him while he's getting sucked into the elevator. And how about the fucking organs coming out of him?
Again, they're not like that's not what it would look like, but there's just something about the way that he shoots it and the way that he uses his gore that you're like, wow, this is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is. Oh god, it's so crazy. Well, he's dead. Blood everywhere. Blood fucking everywhere. And we get Lemmy as a news anchor.
Yeah. Why
the
Lemmy?
Weirdest cameo. Lemmy's reporting from the scene of this accident, and he just kind of says like a couple words, and then it goes over, and then there's another news anchor in a suit, like properly dressed. Lemmy's wearing what he wears on stage. That like button down that's open down to his like belly button. Oh god.
Yeah.
So good.
And the headline says "Fat Slob Eaten by Escalator."
Did it really?
Yeah.
And so many scenes where you can't tell if it's the serial killer or not, because they're like filming this.
Because they're filming a movie. Yeah.
And there's a woman that looks exactly like her in the movie, killing men. It's so strange. Where do we go? Let's see. There's another masturbation scene like we talked about.
With a pickle.
Is that what she uses?
Yeah.
She uses a pickle in that scene?
Yeah. Because she's thinking about him and he loves pickling.
Oh my god. What the fuck? And she's masturbating she's fantasizing about him doing the most ridiculous shit. Lifting weights. It's like the biggest barbell of all time.
Yeah.
It's like 2,000 pounds of weight.
It's like when Foghorn Leghorn does it in the Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, it's balloons.
Yeah.
He puts it in his mouth. There's like 30 plates on the bar. And he's carrying it with his teeth. Oh, yeah. They're filming on set. We're about to explain like the craziest like 10 minutes in a movie ever. They're filming on set.
Are you sure, Sean? Because everything that happens from this point on
is just out of control. Yeah, you're right.
Movie.
I don't, you're right. It's hard to say. They're filming a scene where there's gunshots. The gunshots go off. Turns out one of them's real. Guy's dead.
Yeah.
So they hold. I mean, the police are now involved. They're investigating.
Right. And the interrogation scene is so fucking funny.
It was hilarious. That was like one of the funniest scenes in the movie. I can't remember what everyone said in it, but it was so fucking funny.
Yeah, it was great.
So it's just everyone starts dying now. Like, how do I even explain this? So next up is...
So the cops interrogate Lloyd, and then they end up kicking the shit out of him, but nobody knows any information on it. Yeah. And Lloyd's talking about how he's filming the movie, and then they immediately just go back and they film, and some guy dressed as a cow dies.
Mad Cowboy.
Mad Cowboy's dead.
Because what happens to him is he the one that the light falls on his head? Oh no, it's the next guy.
No, he's the one that dies, and you just hear this huge fart noise, and he shits himself, and somebody pulls down his pants, and it's just a huge pile of shit. And Lloyd's complaining because somebody said that they used the chocolate pudding. He's like, this isn't the time for that. Some guy eats it with a spoon. And I know it's fake, but it's
so disgusting.
It's so gross.
It's got the consistency of peanut butter, but it is not peanut butter. And this guy eats it, and he's like, this isn't chocolate pudding.
Yeah, he
And
takes
then he
another
keeps
bite.
eating it.
This is definitely not.
like there's conversations happening and the story's progressing, and then at the end he's like, "This isn't chocolate pudding," and he finally realizes what it is after everyone's explaining to him that it's shit. That was pretty gross. That was pretty fucking horrible. Like my notes are so out of control. Like when you read them, like it's just like mad cowboy dead, shits himself, guy is eating his poop. Like, these are my notes. Like, if anyone saw these notes, they'd be like, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, no. Well, what the fuck did we watch?
So...
Then old Phil dies.
Then old Phil was Mad Cowboy.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not the one that had the light chopped on his head?
No, somebody else... No, that's
Oh, that's the guy giving the speech?
That's Steve,
Giving
who's eulogizing Mad
Yeah, that's
Cowboy.
okay. All right.
And then he takes a light to the head. That is the craziest effect ever, that burned head.
Yeah.
And you hear somebody, when they take the light off and you see his burned up skull, you hear somebody go, ew, he has an afro. Oh my God. So now he's dead. Now the punk kid, who's the son of the investor, but never really goes into it much more than that. He's eulogizing this guy, Steve, who just got electrocuted. And he is literally smashed between two trucks.
Two trucks rip
Just
this
back
kid
into
apart.
each other.
They back into each other and just rip his limbs clean off his body.
Yeah, and he's just laying on the ground, dying. Just dying. And these like four scenes take place in a matter of like 10 minutes.
That's the thing. And we're not even, I say at this point, we're probably close to halfway done with this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's so much.
There's so much to do. There's so much to do. We cannot. Oh my God. I mean, where do you go? How about the next scene where they're filming a Toxic Avenger movie? Toxie is having sex with the lead actress.
Yeah, and she's just screaming about coming. And she's blind too.
I don't even know. The movie ends up losing the lead actress.
She's so naked.
The lead actress, they lose the guy that plays Toxie. Oh, that's it. They only lose those two guys.
Yeah.
Through a fight. Because people are just fucking constantly in this movie. So of course they
fucking and masturbating.
Oh wait, her name's not Christine. Her name's
what?
Jennifer. Christine is the actress that original is in the movie that she just left, the lead female. This is so confusing. When you're this meta, we can't talk about the lead actress of Terror Firmer versus the lead actress of the movie they're filming. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait, we'll get to that. That's the best scene in the movie. But the lead actress,
I feel bad because like people listening to this are probably like, "What the fuck are these guys babbling
I
about?"
know. This might be our worst episode ever. We apologize in advance. We should probably just figure out a way to move this along.
Yeah, why don't we just like hit the main points, I guess.
But what is main? Everything's main. There's vomit. There's car crashes.
Okay, so let's
a naked guy running through New York City. All right, hang on. Before we get to our crazy rundown of the rest of this movie, we're going to take a quick break, do a couple plugs, and we'll be right back.
Trash Video is your one-stop video shop in Sleazoid City.
Who the fuck is that dickhead?
I don't know.
We have the best rental stock of horror, cult, B-grade movies available on VHS.
Movies with corpse rape? Oh, let me get set.
Blu-ray? Fuck that shit! VHS!
Faces of Death is a family film.
Our professional, friendly, and knowledgeable staff are here to help you.
Hey, Roxy, after the shift, you wanna go watch a porno with me?
Shut up, Seth. I'm doing my nails.
So stop on by the store today.
I smell like videotapes in here.
TrashVideoPodcast.com.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Me and Joe, during that break, have planned nothing, and we are just going to go through this. Because this is fucking crazy. This is the craziest fucking movie. And maybe that's...
Oh, that's what he was going for.
You could not explain this movie to anyone.
No, you couldn't. Even if you took if you're like, give me like 3 points, point A, point B, and point C, and like connect them. I don't know how to do that.
So let's talk about the story here. We'll just wrap up the story and then we'll talk about some of the shit that we saw within these moments.
Yeah.
Essentially, Jerry and Jennifer, as we just realized, they get together in the end. Her name's not Christine. Her name is Jennifer. They get together while having sex on set in front of everyone. They're now in love.
Yes.
They discover that Casey is the serial killer.
Dressed as a woman. Who's keeping the pickler, his dad, Ron Jeremy, in a cage. With his face just disfigured.
It's so fucking disgusting. That makeup is
Troma's makeup is the best.
It's crazy.
It's
that
so
was
good.
Honestly, I wanted to vomit.
I
wanted to vomit. We also discover that Casey has a vagina, a horrifying looking vagina, one of the most disgusting prosthetics I've ever seen, and equally disgusting, a nub.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because he had part of a dick too, didn't he?
Yes, he has a nub above the vagina.
But his vagina is basically just like two nuts that were like two nuts that kind of go inside.
I'm gonna fucking throw up. It was appalling. Even more appalling was the sweaty looking glued down hair that was just glued around the prosthetic. I wanted to fucking just hurl when I saw that. I was at first they don't show it all the way. You kind of get a glimpse of it. And
yeah, but then they
I thought I was safe, and then we get to see a huge, massive close up.
Yeah, it's a long one too.
Close up of all time on it. They discover he's the serial killer, and then what happens? There's a chase.
Larry Lloyd.
Yeah,
Larry
gets
blown to fucking pieces.
Larry, yeah. For some reason, Casey had a grenade and he threw it, and Larry jumps on it just by listening. He's listening to. Was the grenade ticking, by the way? I think it was. Oh, it was a bomb. That's why.
That's why. Yeah,
it was a bomb, which he could hear, and he jumped on. His daughter ends up getting the power of speech back
after watching her dad
get exploded, and she shoves a pole up Casey's vagina that goes through her vagina and out her back. Everyone else proceeds to just murder this person.
There's so much stabbing in the last 5 minutes.
So stabby. It's the stabbiest 5 minutes of all time. And then they light him on fire. Or maybe they lit him on fire before. I don't even know. Casey's dead.
Yes.
And they decide that they'll finish Larry's movie in honor of him.
Yes.
Let's make art.
Right.
And they go off and make the movie, and that's it.
That's it. And then the credits start to roll, and you're greeted with Lemmy. Smoking a cigarette. And then Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Making fun of hermaphrodites. Would probably not fly today. They're just walking around with fake boobs.
And being concerned about what bathroom to use.
And then they ultimately use a piss bucket with a sign for hermaphrodites. Which at first I was like, oh, maybe this is a take on hermaphrodites, rights. And then I was like, no, it's not. They're just making fun of them. It's fucking terrible. But
you know what I just thought of is that the little girl who plays his daughter was on set for all of this. She's so young.
I really hope she wasn't. I really hope they just brought her.
But I mean,
still, she shoved a pole up somebody's vagina. One of my favorite things as we're seeing it,
About the guy that got caught in the escalator.
yeah, there's a thing at the end. There's a big thing, and it says like trauma fun fact, and it said that the man, because this guy is so fat, that gets stuck in the escalator. He said he was inspired by Robert De Niro and decided to gain like 200 pounds for the role.
Goes up to 400 pounds.
So ridiculous. So let's talk about some scenes from the movie that
Sure.
were just.
My favorite scenes are the one that we talked about, the bong kill.
Mhm.
I love the poop eating scene
Okay.
and that vomiting scene where she's just where she is just in the car throwing up all over people's
That is
faces.
crazy. What is also crazy is the another fat gentleman
Just running around New York City.
naked with his little dick just flapping in the wind, and he's running like a
This
crazy
is like
person.
close-ups on his ass and his dick.
And he's got like a mask on, sort of, because they were making a plaster cast of his face for special effects, and so he's got these like bandages all over his face. So he's like this faceless fat creature running around the streets of New York City with his little dick hanging out, and he's like running into. First, it's on set. He's just running around naked,
Right.
and it's crazy.
But then he goes out.
Then he goes outside, and it looks like closed streets, like there's no one around. But then he is in Times Square, running around fucking naked.
Yeah, and there's no way they had permits for that.
No.
They just made this guy
They
run around
filmed that
naked.
guy and just said it was art. 100%. You're 100% correct. I mean, it's in the vein of this movie, which I think is like, just make whatever you want.
Do you think anyone even called the cops?
No. Dude, no one even looked concerned. That's the way New York City is. People were like, oh.
Have you
whatever.
been to Times Square recently?
Last few years.
Have you seen all the people that dress up as like Elmo and Mickey
Yes.
Mouse? I would much rather have that naked man running around.
I would too, than those disgusting
Those people are
fake
the
costumes.
worst.
Oh my! they're in big trouble. Not to get off topic. Those people are in like massive trouble. 'Cause they, like-
Copyright reasons?
No. Well, that is a
Or
big
because they're
problem.
assholes?
They attack kids. They like robbed some kid.
Yeah, they're fucking jerks.
Yeah, they're
I hate
fucking
them.
Shits. Yeah. But yeah, give me this naked guy.
Find out all our listeners are
That's what
Times
we-
Square
that's-
performers.
We say that we would be okay with the naked guy over everything else, and we wouldn't. If we were in Times Square with our family and children, we'd be like, I'm so fucking angry. I'm never coming to New York City again. This guy's running around with his dick out. And ultimately, why I like that scene so much is because this guy's running around with his dick out. Meanwhile, the vomit scene happens where this woman is just vomiting all over the car, and then they start vomiting. The windshields are covered
It's
in
covered
vomit.
in vomit, so they can't see where they're driving.
They crash. Huge crash scene. Probably like half the budget. And this car explodes, flips, and lands on the fat guy. Oh, who had slipped on a banana peel.
Banana peel.
The fat naked guy had slipped on a banana peel, and he's laying in the road. A car flips in the air and lands on his head. Then, to make matters worse, if you think this is all ridiculous, it gets one step better when there's just a close-up of his dick, and he's just convulsing under the car. And it's very clear that all he's trying to do is make his dick shake as hard as he can. It's very obvious that was his goal in his twitching.
Yeah.
He was twitching so hard. His lower body was working so hard.
I love that Lloyd got people like to do this. Like, hey, here's what you're gonna do in this scene. I'm sure you have family that's probably gonna watch this, but
I love that Lloyd got people to watch this. Watch this guy walk around. What? Oh my god. Another favorite scene of mine. She brings a ventriloquist. The serial killer brings a ventriloquist up into her bedroom to murder, which she proceeds to do. However,
the fuck, what was it? A popo?
which is the most. It was just like a perverted sounding name just for the fucking doll. She proceeds to take his dick out
Oh my god! And she pulls it
pull
like,
it across the room. It's a big rubber dick. She pulls it all the way
his
across.
dick stretches to like 6 feet.
It's like 10 feet. And she lets it go and it snaps back. But it doesn't return to normal size. It just
No, it just like flops.
it's still 10 feet, but it's just sitting on his waist now. And he's dead. He's dead. Boy. Was there anything else? Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to go through my notes to see. Oh, well, they light him on fire by making some guy bend over and fart in front of a lighter. And that's how they light him on fire. And when the little girl kills him, she screams, "And Titanic sucked." Oh my god. Oh wait, and finally the best scene in the whole movie, when they screen the movie that Larry had made up until that point.
Yes.
Which was a Toxic Avenger movie. So after they kill him, it kind of just hard cuts, and we see Toxie. He's giving birth. Male Toxie is giving birth. The baby comes out, and the nurse says, "It's your mother." The baby he gave birth to is his mother. And is also wearing
it's also a full grown person, and it's wearing a Toxie mask.
Toxie gives birth to his mother. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. I've never laughed so hard in my life. Never laughed so hard in my entire life. If we could play a clip of that during this, I think I will. Because it's the most outrageous clip of all time.
Sean, every clip in this movie is the most outrageous.
I
clip.
know.
I've never seen a more outrageous movie. That's the best way to. That's the best word to use to describe this.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah. Also, in the at the end of the movie, there's a graphic that says Larry Benjamin, 1948 to 2000. You broke the wind beneath our wings. Like, this guy cannot let a fart joke slide.
Lloyd Kaufman was 55 years old when he made this movie.
Holy shit. Oh my god. And that's it. I mean, you know what I do have to say though is, so a few things. This is probably the most disturbing film ever made. I was talking to Joe before we started, comparing it to Antichrist, or was that during the show? I don't even know.
No, it was before.
Just talking about other movies that push that envelope. So movies like Antichrist and
Serbian film.
I'd say this is more outrageous than those two films.
Oh God, yeah.
Way more outrageous. But at the same time, about
it's way more fun, those films.
150,000 times more entertaining. So I probably just had to cut out a few minutes, so I don't even know where we left off, what we were talking about. Actually, what happened was we were watching Terror Firmer while we were recording. It automatically moved to the next movie in Joe's queue, which happened to be Poultrygeist, a movie we will be reviewing in 2 weeks. And the first 3 minutes of the movie made me laugh so hard. I was crying.
Literally cried.
I was crying. I'll probably include it at the end of this episode, so stay tuned till after the music. I'll probably put it at the end. Because that was the most genuine reaction I've ever had.
It was perfect. I'm so glad it was caught on tape.
I couldn't stop laughing. That was incredible. But what I was going to say, prior to watching the best movie ever, discovering the best movie ever. Oh boy, wow, that was great. So I was going to say a couple things. This movie. Oh, we were talking about the Serbian film.
Yeah.
Connection. This movie was just infinitely more entertaining in so many levels. It's so funny. Like, this is the only way you can get away with that disturbing level. You can't rip a baby out of a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
unless you have a man eating feces out of another
Right.
guy's asshole.
The tone has to be different.
It's got to be different. You gotta do that. The other thing was, you know what? It honestly, the end was kind of empowering with the independent art feel and saying like, let's make the little girl screaming, let's make art. I was like, yeah, why not? Like, why shit on this movie? Like,
Yeah. I actually thought like the moments of when he was talking about Sam Fuller and like other independent makers and like when he was saying I make like 50-cent movies and all, he just kept referencing himself and I was like, this is actually like pretty good.
yeah. And that was also in a scene where he just asked everyone if they wanted him to wipe their asses for him. You want me to wipe your asses for you? It was so weird. And everyone was just kind of like, no. Because I'll do it. I'll wipe your ass.
God
yeah,
bless Lloyd.
It had such a great... It's kind of a great message when you think about it. This dude is making whatever movie he fucking feels like. He doesn't give a shit
Right.
what you think.
Right.
He's making it for his fans and they love it. And frankly, I love it too. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty awesome. Pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Breathtaking. Terra Firma. Hard to sit through. Hard to get through. I understand if you can't make it through that movie. There was a big conversation on our Facebook page about it.
Gia, am I saying that right?
I think so.
Gia, well, if not, correct me. Gia, she made it 16 minutes.
She made it 16 minutes and had to turn it off. And I totally respect that.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lloyd would respect that too. I feel like Lloyd would be like, I'm surprised you made it 5. I'm surprised you made it past ripping a baby out of a woman's stomach.
Oh, Lloyd.
Oh, and they were pulling on that baby like it was rubber.
Yeah.
They were and she was going, give me back my baby. not like, oh, you ripped
I'm
the baby
dying.
out of me. Great movie though. So that's a wrap for this episode. Let's see. Do we have anything to plug? We've got Trovember still going on. We've got some big surprises. We're working with Troma now to try and get some cool stuff going for the end of the month. We'll see that. We also have an interview, like we said, with Kansas Bowling. Yeah. We'll do it for next week.
We'll do it for the non-trauma episode.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
We could always flip-flop. Could you Poltergeist then Thanksgiving?
Nah. No. We'll do Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
We've been promising that. Plus, that'll make that a trauma episode.
With her, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So we'll be interviewing Kansas Bowling. I believe she's 17. I think I said 18 last week. I'm not sure. About her movie, BC Butcher. Sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing. So then that just got picked up by Troma. And that's really it. Got to thank Harley Poe for allowing us to use the song Gorehound off the album Pagan Holiday. Find it at harleypoe.com, facebook.com/Harley Poe. We're on facebook.com, and that's, God damn it. We're on facebook.com. We're at facebook.com/I hate horror, ihatehorror.com, twitter.com/I hate horror show. Don't forget that show.
Yeah. I'm at Jovi421.
That's really it. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. Best way to support us. If you like us, tell a friend. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the love. So many good reviews.
Yeah, thank you.
We're expecting the bad ones soon. So
after this episode.
Yeah, probably. But we appreciate it. If you leave a review, make sure you email me, Sean@ihatehorror.com, and I will get you some free stickers, NWA inspired. So if you like hip hop, which you should, even if you don't like hip hop, you should like NWA.
Fuck yeah. NWA is punk rock.
NWA.
What song was that?
I'm a rapper now. That was the new one they did with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Chin Check?
Chin Check.
Yeah.
I like that song. Probably shouldn't have used that as my reference for NWA, though. About a
without the original lineup.
Yeah. That's it, guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you all for listening. For Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
Good and evil are just colors on the
Did you watch this yet? It's Poultrygeist.
I know. I'm gonna fucking throw up. I can't believe we're gonna review this. That guy's just jerking off. Oh my god. I don't even know if I'm gonna leave this in this episode. I might have to take it out. Joe's cue automatically put Poultrygeist, which is coming up in 2 weeks. It actually started playing it, and I just turned to the TV, and there's just some guy jerking off, and another guy like pulls a piece of poop out of his, I don't know, his underpants. I don't even know. Oh my god. There's so many people getting fucking.
Oh my god. The funniest movie I've ever seen.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I can't wait to watch this. What the fuck? I'm crying. Oh my god.
Sean, this is only the first 3 minutes of this movie.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't wait. I can't wait.